Testing 1, 2, 3. If anybody's out there, could you answer me? Let me make sure that I got the chat open. Let me make sure it's open because I need to know. Open up this chat, guys. I'll be right with y'all. I have to do this interview with Karim Bliz Johnson. I just want to make sure the chat room is open, people. And my computer is giving me a hard freaking time for why, I don't know. I hope it works while we do this live. I think I dropped some water in it like a big meathead. And now it's messing up on me. Your browser can't play this video. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. What's up, Liz?
What's up? What's up?
I'm trying to make sure that I have the chat room open.
Okay.
My laptop is giving me stupid problems. I think I dropped water in it. How you doing?
Listen, I'm good. I'm good. This StreamYard should be acting funny, so I just hope it lasts through the whole show.
Yeah, I hope so too, because not only did the StreamYard act funny, but also I dropped water in my computer like a meathead and it's acting crazy now.
Well, so far we on. I hear you clear. I can see
I hear you
myself
too,
and everything. So
but I want to see the I want the people to be able to respond to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, but gotta be careful with. Well, again, you gonna put this on your YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's going live on YouTube.
Yeah, be careful with that, because that's how they bamped us the other night with me and Doggy, man. We got, make sure we're not speaking about no vaccination, none of them key words.
No, I'm not talking about none of that. But you actually you was on Zoom with him. He said it was Zoom that messed up on him.
Well, the Zoom, because he didn't have Zoom, other people was using that link he had. So it wasn't right, it wasn't just his. But no, I'm talking about they took the page, the whole video down and gave him a warning. So no vaccination talk, and that wasn't even from us. That was a caller who asked about it, and when we didn't elaborate on it, he made a comment in the chats, and we was like, "Yo, that's not our lane."
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll dead your channel for it, and you want to get monetized. So we're gonna make sure that you get your numbers up.
Right, because I know about that part. I wasn't even planning on talking about that vaccine stuff. Like people should really know about that by now. Like we shouldn't even have to be discussing that. All this time when we were during the pandemic, there was a lot of studying to be done. And when it was over and said and done, and they finally came up with whatever type of vaccine they came up with, there was only a little bit left, and that was the results of what happened to people. So people should have been up on that already, King.
Yeah, well, they not. And we'll get into everything of where our people head is.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, well, I guess I might have to do this without the chat because it doesn't look like it's going to cooperate with me. It's saying that my browser can't play the video. Like, what are you saying? It's not a video yet.
Right.
And it won't let me edit. So I think it's more about because I dropped the water in the laptop. But what I'll do is I think I might just record this.
Yeah, record it.
Post it later.
And upload it later, definitely.
Right. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change this. How do you do this now? Like, I'm so not well versed with this. Hold on. StreamYard YouTube channel. I said YouTube channel. And I said allow. Give me 1 second, Bliz.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now what I want to do is change it from because it's probably on children. It's not for children. It's for children. That's why I can't
No,
change.
yeah. Put not for children.
That's what I'm trying to get to, but I can't even get to that option. This is the problem.
Right, because that's what's doing it. That when you do for children, it doesn't allow the chat
Right.
and
So that's
comments.
probably what it's set on, and I can't
Right.
change it. But I also can't even go back to this is a mess. I hate when this happens.
So
Uh,
maybe you might have to go out and come back in.
yeah, maybe I'm gonna have to do that. Okay. Then I'm gonna have to send you. Okay, let me go out and come back in. I'm gonna leave you here for a second.
Right. See what happens.
Um, I'm doing a live right now. Okay, tell him I'm gonna hit him up on his email. Okay, thank you. Bliss, Miz was just trying to call me. You there, Bliss?
Yeah, I'm here.
Miz was just trying to call me through call, but I can't talk to him right now.
Oh, word.
Um, okay, so we're gonna do it like this, Ken. Cause
You heard that echo?
no, you hear echo in the car?
Not in the car, but I could hear it from your end. And it's not even not you, but I thought my voice is clear
Your
now, right?
voice is very clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, all right.
So I pretty much wanted to get into settings. Is it settings gonna help me? General. Um the state of where we are today, Bliss, because we both come from the same neighborhood. We know how the streets were when we were coming up, and there's a big time difference in the streets now than what it used to be. Um, do you think that we could ever get back to people having morals and scruples and going back to a certain code, even if you choose the street life, you going by a certain code and leaving civilians out of their mess of their street transactions?
Well, what's going to happen is you're going to have to be forced to live by a certain code and a certain standard if you're going to be engaged in criminal activity, if you're going to be engaged in revolutionary activity, any activities that are counterproductive to this corporation moving in the direction that it wants to, which is to make slaves out of everyone. You're going to have to live by a specific code because they are coming down so hard with their institutions and with their tools that it's going to force you to be very selective into doing what you're doing. What we're
Right.
witnessing now is a lot of people who are mentally ill, mentally off balance, and they cannot cope with switching gears. So, of course, they're going to do the most heinous things in real time because they don't have the mental abilities to keep up. The other individuals who will be the next what we want to call super criminals and things of that nature will find a way to establish certain codes and move in a manner which that's going to protect the civilian population. It's going to have to.
Correct.
It's just going to have to. That's what happens. The conditions aren't prepared because what's going to happen is these people are going to keep holding court in the street.
Right.
They're going to continue to do that. And there are people who will learn how to not martyr themselves off in the name of their criminal affairs. They're going to figure out a way, but until then, we're going to have a lot of children being harmed. We're going to have a lot of elders being harmed. and we're going to have a lot of black women being harmed. It's just going to be numbers of casualties that is going to be collateral damage until
Correct.
they figure that out, or until the leadership of people who are doing the work, who are conscious, really step out and start, going 1,000% to counter that regressive energy.
Correct. I agree, because I've just never seen or anticipated that. I did feel like it was going to go into a chaotic state when they told us that we could no longer discipline our children if we did, give them a spanking or whatever, which is how we was raised. That they had the right to go and take the children from the home. I knew that that's when it was going to be a problem.
Well,
So,
again, we're in some very turbulent times, but it's not like we haven't been there before. When you will recall, at the apex of the crack epidemic, we had people losing their minds. We were seeing and bearing witness to some of the most wildest things ever. But again, we were of a certain age that we didn't allow it to consume us.
right.
But during that crack epidemic, we seen it. Like, I always make mention of the fact that I witnessed one of the baddest, one of the most beautiful, our Thelma in Linden, smoke out and end up smoking with her son. That is some crazy stuff to watch. And to watch her hold herself out for a couple of cracks in front of her son, and then her and her son smoking together. I mean, we witnessed some crazy things. We witnessed people literally walking down the street with TVs.
Right.
Like the things that was going on, the thievery, the audaciousness of some of these people on this crack and their strength. I seen dudes literally going into neighborhoods where they got beef with the other individuals and getting shot.
Right.
And not caring because they knew they was getting ready to smoke.
Right.
So they'll smoke that little product and then go to the emergency room. Like, come on, man.
When you said that about the lady that started smoking crack with her son, it made me remember that some of the people that I looked up to the most in our youth that we used to see every day, they went from being my idol to being a crackhead overnight.
Right. And imagine what that did to the brain.
Traumatizing. That was another form of trauma.
Right.
I think people are trying to get in, but they can't even get in because of the way the setting is. So I'm gonna make sure I post this on my page. It was trauma, not only the deaths, but I always believe that not only did the crackheads need or the drug addicts need rehabilitation, I felt like the drug dealers and the witnesses, we all needed some type of rehabilitation or some type of therapy for the things that we witnessed and went through.
Well, we all suffered immensely from that. And of course, that the dealers, like I explained not too long ago, any particular hustle that you're into has an effect over your mental state and your spirit. So when we were running around and my chosen hustle was guns and sticking people up and running around with that power, there was an addiction to the smell of that metal. There was an addiction to that metal touching my waist. There was an addiction to that I had to get therapy for. You dig what I'm saying? So I didn't feel the need to grip onto that power like that. That's why them soldiers have PTSD when they come back. That's why it's so hard for them to get out of it. That's why it's so hard for police to get away from the power of having that weapon on them. So, of course, if you was chosen to do that type of street hustle, you needed therapy. If you were around the ones who were handling weight, always around that narcotic, inhaling, ingesting that narcotic, if you was the one that was disseminating weight to your crew and feeling all powerful because they was bringing you back that money, you need therapy for that because you don't understand that the hustle consumes you.
Right.
You
And that
understand?
it doesn't continue forever. Right.
Right. So while you you think you're benefiting from it, but the self-destruction that you're giving to others, you become dehumanized yourself, and you start believing that this is the only way that you can get some type of relief from them oppressive conditions. So yeah, all of us need therapy. I don't care if you was at the highest of the height, like a freeway Rick Ross, or you was just the on the block dude. Because what you witnessed, what you participated in, it becomes you. So
Right.
if you had the power, if you had the power of getting oral stimulation over somebody who you had once fantasized over because she was just that beautiful by giving her a little $5 piece of rock, you need therapy from that because now you got a picture in your head of every woman that you can dehumanize at that point. So now you don't believe in speaking love to her. You would believe in getting over and speaking lies and manipulation in order to get that pleasure.
Right.
All that comes as a dysfunction of what we've been going through.
And it also hindered the image of the Black woman herself. Of that queen image that we had was totally desecrated by those. It was. And I realized I was talking to Hezekiah one time. I know we're all familiar with Hezekiah. And I was talking to him one time and he said, we were talking about those days before crack. And he was like, sis, it's like we went to sleep in a beautiful dream and woke up to a nightmare.
Oh, yeah, because it happened very quickly.
Very quickly, overnight.
It happened very quickly. It happened very quickly. And people didn't realize what happened. They didn't realize what happened. 1 minute I'm idolizing the dude because he could fight and he dressed real good. And then in the matter of 90 days, I seen him stinking and begging me for change.
And not only that, people getting killed for money. People that was once friends going against each other for territory. You know,
it's something that, again, people try not to speak on, just like the Vietnam War. A lot of those individuals are just now getting therapy for that because they didn't want to recall it. They didn't want to relive that. And a lot of people don't want to relive the crack era, but they want to continue to glamorize those who said that they were successful, who spoke on the money, spoke on the power and traveling. And that's what brings us up to where we at today, because the children are confused. And when you omit certain things from our history, from certain time and space, we do a disservice to them because now they don't know of that. And
they can't identify with it. Right, because they were born into this.
Exactly.
They wasn't born into what we witnessed. They wasn't born into the ethics we were taught and the morals we were taught. Even if we were doing something negative, if I saw Miss Johnson coming, I was gonna say, wait, here comes Miss Johnson.
Yeah. Oh,
now, right. So I also
it's painful. It's painful. It's why I encourage people, don't listen to those who say they doing so much for us and you don't see them doing it, because this struggle is real deals, man. This is work you got to really be ingrained in, because it's painful and it's not appreciated. The people that you need to help the most don't appreciate it, and they don't know how to. And you have to forgive them for that and just continuously do your work, because again, people hate you for loving them.
That is so true, Karim. That is what I've been experiencing in the past few years of my life. And since I've been in this YouTube genre, trying to reach out to the kids when I was realizing what was going on in Chicago, I've noticed that the more that you love, the more people hate you. I always felt that in real life, in real lifetime, in real time, sorry. But as I expose myself to the younger generation, I see how much damage has been done, and I see how hard it's gonna be to correct that damage, to reverse that damage.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. There we are so far removed from where we need to be. We are right now at a space that even the Panthers couldn't believe that our people would be in. The level of consciousness right now is so low. Our vibration is so low right now because we are being
Mm-hmm.
attacked on all fronts.
Different levels, all levels. Never have we been attacked on all levels like this before.
No.
And on top of that, we're totally divided. The youth are divided from the older generation, which is the only generation that can really teach them what is supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our only hope is the ones in the 30s that had a little bit of us, you understand, and a little bit of what we are in now. They're
Yeah,
like
well,
the only hope.
yeah, those millennials are very important. The 25 to 35 are very important because they had a little touch of everything. Like my daughter's generation, she's 16. They don't know nothing. They don't even remember the Twin Towers. They wasn't here for
Wow.
9/11 or none of that.
Wow.
So they don't even recognize that. So that to them
Mm-hmm.
is foreign. If you don't teach them that, then they definitely don't know nothing about what we went through in the 80s and what we learned from through Sister Shiraz Ali and
Mm-hmm.
Naeem Akbar and all these greats and Khalid Muhammad. And
Dr.
then they
Ben.
definitely don't know about the Farrakhan's, the Malcolms, and they definitely don't know about the Hueys and the Winnie Mandelas. They don't know about none of that. So when you speaking to them about Nat Turner, they can't conceptualize that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have to reinforce lessons that we learned and allow them the space to catch up without being overbearing.
Right, right, right. And without degrading them,
Right.
which
Because
is
they have
really
a
kind of
voice.
right, right.
They have a voice
Because
and they know things that we don't know.
right, they do. But they also have to recognize that we know things that they don't know, that we can teach them before they even have to experience it.
Exactly. And that's where we're failing at. Because again, a lot is harmful to have to sit there and atone for the things that you didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a piece that the elders miss, and a lot of them don't want to. They don't want to accept that they made some mistakes. They don't want to accept that. They want you to kind of glaze over and forget that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
we of a different generation because we are of the hip hop generation that came from us,
Mm-hmm.
and that is going to be the bonding piece. Because when my daughter come to me and she says, "Yo, here go Migos, here go G Herbo, here go Pop Smoke, here go King Von, here go all this stuff." Of course, I got you. Come on, how can I say I don't want to hear that? That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. That
Mm-hmm.
came
Right,
from us.
right,
So
right.
I got to sit there, listen to it, check the vibration, and be able to decipher and allow her to teach me what they're saying and make it match to the same frequency that we was going through when we birthed Rakim, KRS, Kane. You dig what I'm saying?
And it
All
is
that
the same frequency.
is the
It
same
is, but
frequency.
it's the same frequency, but it's been distorted because it's been a little bit more easier to infiltrate than it was with us
Exactly.
because we've been beat down now. We beat down. So, and we kind of
Exactly.
like dropped the ball, our generation, because they have, me and A talk a lot about this. And we talked about the movie Paid in Full and how he feels like the movie Paid in Full was used to hypnotize this generation that came after us to think that they could really accomplish that. because with us, they had to give it to us. We couldn't just go to the movies and watch Scarface and think we could live like that without experiencing that money, those drugs, that lifestyle. So they gave us those things. They allowed us to touch those things. People on television was following us. We wasn't following people on television.
Right.
So by the time it got to the generation that was watching Paid in Full, that no longer existed. That lifestyle no longer could be achieved in the streets. That was a fantasy. But if you notice also what we noticed was they also used clips from Scarface in that movie. And you never saw anybody. You had to have some type of pull in Hollywood to use that movie in another movie.
Yeah, you had to get permission.
But that movie just so happened to be the ones that brainwashed us, and they used Paid in Full to brainwash the children, in which case he didn't write it that way. He wrote it as Trapped. So a whole generation could have been saved by these little things like this.
Well, I could go even deeper, because what a lot of people don't know about A, and that I know because he specifically allowed me to listen to it, A had a movie already written about his life in mob style. He had a full script written. He had a full soundtrack to it. And this is in 94, 95. He would have had the deal to do it before Master P even thought of doing Bout It or any of those movies. A was exactly what they didn't want.
Right. That's why they sabotaged him.
He had everything himself and was actually working on a deal to get that movie and soundtrack out. But it was too positive as far as him putting the jewels in about the game. And I'm telling you that they shelved it.
Yeah, he told me about that. I
heard the soundtrack. And what happened after I heard it? I went up top, and I don't know whatever happened to it, but he was the first one. So, he may not know. Somebody might have heard and put it to some executive and said, "Nah, this can't get out."
But, yeah, he knows.
Right, but let's make the movie about him the way we want it to be put out.
Right,
and not include him in writing it, because again, once they put it in the newspapers, they're allowed to use it based on the educational format.
Right.
And since
that's what he found out later.
Exactly. But again, they do these things to us on a regular basis because we don't own these institutions that are able to fast track a script, to fast track a movie. They have a lot of layers before the average person can get his script to somebody who can make it a true reality.
Right. And see, that's how we get fooled and tricked, because they'll use Jay-Z and Dame Dash. At that time, they were the voice, they were representing us in the industry. And you go to them with this script and you think that it's going to be done because you think that they have the power to get it done the way you need it to be done. Because we all come from the same place. We're trying to give that message, but it didn't work out that way,
Yeah, exactly. And again, like I said, our people have to change the narrative on what it means to really be a man, to be a woman. You understand? We cannot continue to rely on criminality to describe us. We cannot use criminality as who we are, because then we are able to not only be dehumanized here, but across the globe, because it shows us as a savage. It shows us as someone who cannot challenge the oppression without succumbing to the bullshit that comes from it. Those are subcultures. Whenever you're involved in criminal activity to the degree that where we are, that's a subculture.
Correct.
Selling drugs is a subculture. Boosting is a subculture. You dig what I'm saying? Stick up kids, that's a subculture.
But see,
you're not living out to your full potential.
Right. But now,
if you continue to utilize that as a measuring stick, as coming of age to manhood or womanhood, you're going to suffer because you have nothing else to rely on, and the criminal ain't nothing.
Right.
So we got to change that dynamic and have our children stop yearning to be criminals because they're believing that being a criminal is anti-establishment.
Right. We have to stop glamorizing that.
And look, we 3 generations into hip hop, and we allowed that to take place. Right now, the criminals, the whores, are representation of hip hop globally.
Not only criminals now, murderers. They made it. You got to be a murderer now, Bliz.
You got to be a murderer, or you got to be a hoe.
Yes, yes.
Not even a prostitute with a pimp. No, you have to be a renegade hoe. And have no knowledge, no type of intelligence, no type of intellect of the game that you're supposed to be playing. You just got to be a hoe, and you just got to be a murderer. And that is what will put you on top of the hip hop commercialized culture,
and give you the clout.
Put in place.
That's the word they use. Give you the clout.
That's it. So now, when people from Australia look at that, that is their image of us. When people from Hong Kong look at that, that is the image of us. When people on the continent look, that is what they think of us, and then they begin to emulate that. So now, since they talking UFOs and all that, say for instance there is intelligent life, and they come down and they start to question who are the most moral people on this planet, and they give them a video of Nas X or Megan Thee Stallion, and say, well, you pick and choose, and then they give them another video of this chick, Taylor Swift, with flowers and all type of nature in their videos. And compassion and sunshine and all that. They would think that those are the most moral people on the planet if you're using that representation.
Correct, because image is everything.
Image is everything, and they tarnished our image.
Very much.
Not only did they tarnish the image, they got our elders buying into the image.
Right.
For bad.
Right.
Whenever you see women who are in politics, and they can open up their mouth and say they represent Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and they wish good things for them, and they ride with them, that is problematic. Because they know for damn well they wouldn't allow their daughter to do that, to perform in such a manner. They don't speak like that in their homes. But because of a bag and a certain agenda that they want pushed, they'll celebrate that on mass media.
Correct. Yeah, they sure do.
So when that image can influence our elders, when that image can influence our peers, and when that image can influence our youth, we got a lot of work to do.
We got a lot of work to do. And you know what's really bad too? Half of our generation is not even recognizing this.
No.
Our age group is not even recognizing that.
No, because a lot of them don't like their own vibration. A lot of them have rejected that vibration. A lot of them have rejected the red pill and the blue pill. They have rejected everything in order to just get by, in order to just live. It's painful to be woke and aware and conscious.
Very painful, very painful.
It's painful. So they don't want the pain of that and then add on to it the pain of the oppressor. They don't want to see themselves in that manner.
Right.
So of course they're going to reject it. But in rejecting it, you reject the youth. You reject the babies. You reject the potential to get up out of it.
You're rejecting the responsibility.
Exactly.
Also.
Exactly, because there's a fear of responsibility, because then you got to do for yourself. You can't rely on these people to open supermarkets and allow you just to walk in and buy something. You got to grow your own shit.
Right.
You cannot rely on these people to shelter you. You cannot rely on these people to employ you. So there's a fear of responsibility. These people allowed it to be comfortable for you to be enslaved.
Correct.
It's comfortable. You could be blind, you could be asleep and live out 80 years and then just transition. They made it very comfortable while they continue to eat off you and allow their generations to eat off of your generations and your legacy.
Facts.
They made it comfortable. You don't never have to be woke. That's why you can have Stephen A. say stupid shit like, I wake up thinking about how I can make money for my bosses. And then I think about how I could get a little piece of it. That's sleep. That's a dummy. That's a dead individual. There's no knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that could ever be manifested from that individual. Correct. It's comfortable for him to do that because he doesn't have to be accountable for what he says or accountable for his actions.
Right, and he can get that bag, which matters most to him.
That's it. That's it. So we have to recognize and acknowledge that, and that's on a high level, but we also have to recognize and acknowledge that on the low levels with those who walk around us.
Agreed.
Those who are in our places of employment, those who supposed to be our peers who shun everything that you have to offer them with your knowledge, with your beauty, with your grace. They will walk past you selling your scent to run up into a department store and get some cheap shit that may make them break out.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I cannot argue with that.
This is what we're dealing with. So my thing is we got to embrace that and use that as an armor. You got to embrace the struggle. That's the only way you're going to make it through. If not, you will be the one that end up on the news because you done slapped the shit out of one of these cameras for violating you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to welcome the struggle, acknowledge when the attack is coming, and know when to pick your battles.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Because we get attacked every day. You get attacked just by saying your name is Queen Lotus.
Right.
They're going to attack you. How dare you call yourself a queen?
Correct.
How dare you stand in that?
Mm-hmm.
That's an attack. Your skin is an attack.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But it's different when you see your air light and they seen you from a kid. From the first time I seen that smile and those eyes, that was it for me. I was hooked. Right? Because all we did was what kids do. Laugh and play and loved on each other. That's it.
Right.
So that energy is always going to be there. And if it's something that we see counter in each other, we're going to check it.
Correct.
Because we know we need each other to survive. That shit is not easy. That does not come by frequently. It just doesn't. And that's what our people are suffering from. They scared to see that in each other.
Yeah, right. I can't even disagree with you. They don't want to see it. They're too caught up and brainwashed and programmed. You know, I see sometimes they trying to break out of it, but they won't go but so far. They won't pass the threshold.
Because again, they know what's on the line when they do that. I've seen people. As a matter of fact, I have a coworker who was NYPD just up until last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's seen it. During all those protests, they told NYPD to stand down. And they allowed Antifa to hurt those officers. And once he got hurt, he said, "Nah, I'm out of here." And quit right on the spot. And once he quit, you lose your pension. Once you quit, you lose your license to carry a firearm. Once you quit, you lose all that. And some people not built for that. For that. He was able to say
start all over again.
Right. He was able to say within himself, was like, yo, I got a college degree. I don't need that. And my hobby is taking pictures. I'd rather take these pictures and try to earn a living doing that than to allow that. That was his conscious point. You understand? A lot of people don't want to go through that.
Right, right.
They don't
It
want to
takes.
go through that because they rely on it. You have
It
to have
takes.
the courage to do
I was just
more.
going to say that you have to have a different kind of courage, not the courage that you'll knock somebody out or you beat somebody's ass or you shoot somebody. It's a whole different level of courage to accept this.
Yeah, yeah. It's not easy. It is not easy. And we as people who are aware, we have to know that. We have to allow them that space. And every day I learn more and more to allow people to catch up. I don't embrace them, but I understand them and know that they not there yet. And I'm talking about on high levels because you know where I sit. I sit in the mix of a lot of different circles. So I see it. I'm like, damn, they not there yet. But on the ground level, um, when I'm at like now, I'm out of town. I see
Mm,
people, yo, they got melanin in their skin, in their DNA, but what come out their mouth is like, oh, it'll
I
shock you,
know.
man.
I no, it won't shock me because I've been doing this. I've been privy to this knowledge for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And you see, at first I was just trying to like just throw it on people and let them know, look, this is what I found out. This is what I had to pull back, and I started waiting for people to ask me questions before I shared with them
Mm-hmm.
because it started to drain me. It was
Yeah,
like I felt like I was living in the Stepford Wives. That's how I felt.
exactly. Because you need somebody to re-energize your battery. Because again, you getting attacked from all over.
Mm-hmm.
You getting attacked again. You get attacked in our community, in our hoods, in our buildings. Then you go and you get attacked in transit to the job. Then you get attacked on the
At the
job,
job, right,
and then
right.
you may personally get attacked by family members or maybe by the person you sleeping with.
It's exactly.
So you consistently, if you don't get your battery re-energized, you're just gonna pass out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is what happens now. And so many of us who do have the knowledge and awareness are separated.
Very much
We're
so.
not in touch with each other.
No, because some people are not sincere and they're in it for. They have a different agenda.
But then they're not of us.
I know. I
They're not
know that.
of us at all. And
And
they
that's
and
another
that's and
thing.
that's a very dangerous position too, because they know the work
Right.
and they know the degrees and the lessons. And they could front a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But once they get tapped on the shoulder, their true mission is revealed. And their true
Correct.
mission is just to be hugged by Whitey and to let Whitey pull on their scrotum or tickle their little
Well, that's
fallopian.
what I was trying to explain to people about Bill Cosby because everybody, see, we tend to look at things from a black white perspective. And
Right.
that blinds us. It works in a lot of ways, this racism thing, because we're
Yeah.
not able to recognize when someone may look like us, but they're not of us and they're not working at our best interests.
Right.
I feel like Bill Cosby, from the times when he came out for that whole 10 years, downgrading black people, saying all these things in public about what we was doing and putting us down. I remember that. Yeah, I'm not looking at the image on TV.
Okay.
I appreciated the image on TV, but when I started to gain knowledge, I realized that the image that he was giving on TV was basically for us to go to college, get a degree, and go work for somebody else. It was never pushed that we should go to college, get a degree, and pursue our own interests. It was to use our gifts to give it to the people that they treasure the most. And I feel like the ancestors had to spank him. I think the ancestors used these people in this establishment to spank him because he had a lot of knowledge and he gave our power to them for his own benefit.
Well, definitely you can speak to that because he definitely was never one to speak anti-establishment.
Mm-hmm.
What he wanted to do was create a safe space, sort of like Booker T. Washington. You
Mm-hmm.
think that you could create a safe space because of wealth and a specific image of our people. And at that point, he was excellent at it because he did encourage others who may not have believed in themselves to say, you know what, I could go to college.
Right.
You know what, I could get some type of employment and be better than just shucking and jiving on the block.
Right.
But in his message and in his tone, he was dehumanizing without encouraging for those 10 years.
And very derogatory.
So his message was very, very harmful, especially if you was listening with a woke and a conscious ear.
Correct.
So you were harmful to what Stokely was saying. You was harmful to what Malcolm was saying. You was harmful to what Khalid was saying because you were stripping away the layers of free thinking.
Correct. Well said. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
You did? And that tone was very, very nasty.
Very nasty and derogatory.
But now listen, you got people who came out after he was locked up that is using that same tone and they are applauded for it.
Right.
Roland Martin uses that tone.
Right.
Stephen A uses that tone.
Well, they all come from the same clique. That's the same establishment.
Exactly. So now, again, was he handled unjustly through that system? Of course. Of course. Was 98% of his accusers other women, those others? Of course. As an octogenarian, should he have been behind bars when his white counterparts haven't even seen a pair of handcuffs? Of course not. But again, I want people to stop thinking that we are suffering through double standards. There is no double standard. Nigga, you can't do what we do. That's it.
Right. That's right. You can, but it's going to become a time where we're going to shut you down.
That's it. So at that point, there is no double standard. It's not no, oh, he could do it, why we can't? Oh, they did this, they didn't get that. You not them.
Right.
So
he believed that he was, though. He believes he was all the way in.
Hey, a lot of them do. And where does that belief come from? As you always teach me, when you share the essence and the energy of those other folks, when you lay with those other folks, you're surrounded by them and they are working on you, you gonna think you one of them.
Yeah.
Until they devour your soul and spit you out.
That's right.
And what's problematic is that is going on all over because they set the image for it to be okay. If you go through Flatbush right now, you know how many mixed couples is right now in the hood? And I'm not talking about, oh, Spanish, Latin, oh, we share the same DNA. No, I'm talking about the others with our jet black sisters.
I seen it in Crown Heights the other night. I saw it.
Day.
Crown Heights.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And you looking at these people and you like, wow, sister, where's your vibration? And they don't have it. And that is problematic and dangerous. Again, people don't show their hand. And not as dark as those women are, as fine as they are, they could put on a dashiki, they could wrap their hair, and they could come amongst us and then go right back home to Tad
and the men do it too, though. But the men do see. It's always talking about, but the men been doing that way before the black women was doing that.
But what happens is the men don't vibrate the same. You can always pick them out. You can always pick the men out. You could look at a melanated brother walk and see that he deals with white women.
Right. His whole frequency is off.
His whole frequency is off. His ass get tight. His lips get pink. He start walking a little funny style. His shoes look crazy. You can see it. I saw it. You can't see it with black women.
Because remember when we was in school and Miss Einstein and them and all those teachers we had, how they were shaped and how they walked was totally off our vibration, like totally different.
Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, we're in the midst of, if people are not solid, we're gonna have a lot of casualties.
Well, we are gonna
And we're
have a
gonna
lot of
have to
casualties
leave a lot of people right where they're at.
behind. We are. We ain't gonna have no choice.
Gotta leave them right where they at, and family included. I'm telling I because again they're so out of alignment. Their
I've been saying
spirit,
this for a long time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Their spirituality's out of alignment. Their mentality is completely off, and physically they just not there.
They just
Again,
not mentally, physically, or spiritually.
again, Harriet showed them proof. Harriet showed them proof. She was like, as many trips as she went back and forth with. The
She could.
numbers the numbers that she brought up through the railroad was short.
She said
Just,
it. To quote her, she said it. She could have freed a lot more people if they only knew they were slaves.
yeah. And that is science. That is parable. That is a jewel that people miss. That people miss that. A lot of them people that sitting in corporate America, a lot of them people that sitting in their military and their police forces that are black, that have our DNA, that have our melanin, don't know that they minds are enslaved. Don't know that the very manifestation of their being is being utilized against them and their offspring. They don't
Very much so. Right. Even those that's not in the service, even regular civilians, they don't realize that their actions play a part. If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem.
Exactly. It's no
There's
neutrality
no in between, right? There's no in between.
at all. At all. And it's a lot of it. I'm telling you, every day I get sharper and sharper. Every day something puts it right in front of my face and say, oh man.
Right. Because we asked for it. We asked for it and we opened ourselves up to it. So we get it. We get fed. You get what you asked for, King.
Yep. Just like Roddy Piper, man. You put them shades on.
Yep.
Yo, I'm telling you, when you see it, it's like, wow. When
I know.
It's loud and clear to me.
Right. I'm kind of a little bit past that stage now because I've been in it for so long. I just watch other people's reaction to it, and I just appreciate when people begin to wake up and realize what we're really living in. And what I'm trying to get them to do is to learn how to use their power since they've taken it back. Don't just let it go. Don't go dormant. Use it. Because we need to use it to help us get out of this matrix, this way of life, this system that we're trapped in.
Well, we have to set specific goals. We have to really speak and come to the table and establish new codes, because old codes, they don't work well with this new type of technology and what we have going on. So you have to utilize what worked in the past and create new ways to move in this future, because every other group is doing their thing except for us. All of them.
Yeah, we got a lot of catching up.
The Latinos, the Asians, the Indian, the Arab, everybody is utilized. The Europeans, the Eastern Europeans, they all are on code with each other and saying, yo, listen, we have to put our people in a better position. That is what that G7 is about. None of us were there to represent for who we are. So that means you are nothing but food. You are nothing but oil for the machine, and they're going to utilize you to the best of their ability. They're going to whore you out.
They call them useless.
Utilize you because you don't have an institution. You're not together. You don't have weapons. And you're not functioning with a purpose.
Right. They call them useless. They call them useless eaters and automatons. That's what they call them.
Right. So you just in it, and I'm not going to be a victim of that. I refuse to. I refuse to do it. It's not going to be me and mine. I'm going to continue to teach, and when they come, because they're going to come, they're going to fall into my door on their face with a hole in the middle of their head until it's finished. Because they're going to come. There's nobody that's going to get through this unscathed. Either they're doing it right now. They're making you prove certain things medically just to get a promotion at work or just to be employed.
Right.
So what are you going to do
with this COVID shit? Yeah.
What are you going to do? Either you with them or you're against them. And if you're against them, you better have a team and be self-sufficient and learn how to take care of yourself, because they're not giving you nothing.
They're not giving you nothing.
And they're going to take all the research. We're dealing with people who are enemies of nature.
Fact. They're at war with nature. They always been at war
with nature. So they damn sure don't care about your black ass.
Right, because you are nature. You don't even damn
nature. You are science. You are math. You come from a universal truth. These people are enemies to nature. They kill rainforests. They kill animals. They destroy water and pollute the air. These are mad people who, again, are enemies of everything natural, and you embody nature. You embody truth.
Opposite of us. Totally
opposite. So they definitely not gonna let you just sneak on by.
And people be calling their little friends they got problems with ops. No, the real ops is on your ass.
Oh yeah.
And controlling and manipulating you. And we taking out, y'all soldiers is taking out each other.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It's bad.
It's very bad. But Bliz, we're going to continue this. I have to work on this computer and make sure that the next time you get on, every time I do an interview, if something stagnates me. But I'm going to make sure next time you come on, the chat is open and everything is flowing correctly. I apologize that I couldn't have the chat open for you, because I know, and I apologize to whoever listens, because I know they would want to chime in. But
all they got to do is share your video. All they got to do is subscribe to your page. All they have to do is make sure that they support you as much as possible, because you know me and you are nothing but a phone call away. Snap quick. I shift schedules for my queen. Simple as that.
I love you.
I love you too. You know that.
Please subscribe to Karim Bliz Johnson for positive and strong educational content. My brother is doing his thing out there. He's getting his voice heard, and I would appreciate the support. We support everything else. Let's support something positive as well.
Definitely. And again, I see you know, once I get back to BK, so we can really speak and do what we need to do, because BK is suffering. You know, every major city is going through it. We got from Oakland to Memphis, right, to Dallas, Texas. We going through it. Cleveland, we going through it. Newark, all that. And we need people like you. We need sisters like you to get them sisters back in line. And the ones that are in line, they need to know that you are there so they can be encouraged.
Okay, I'm there for you anytime. I'm there.
Good.
I'm there, okay?
No doubt.
All right, I love you. Thank you for coming on, and have a good evening, King.
Salute.
Salute, King.
Peace.
Peace.